mind showing what a stupid American I am? Okay. If I were just a dumb American, which I am, I would look at this and it looks like Geeste's dog. But I'm assuming that's not what it is.
No, it is actually geestesoog. Can you do this?
Geestesoog.
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 Sorry. You said still oog. Oog. Oh. Yes. Yeah. Nou, geestes.
Geestes? Ja. Oog.
Ja, dit was goed. Last part was too hard.
Now you say, the eye of mind.
The eye of mind.
See how easy English is?
Okay. This is your new novel?
This was the first.
Where is it about?
This is
Short.
Yes, very
No
short.
spoilers.
No spoilers. Don't
No, I'm
worry.
still reading.
You guys will love it. If you like Maze Runner, you will love this. It's set in the future where virtual reality and technology and artificial intelligence is so advanced that you almost can't tell the difference between the real world and the virtual world. And that can really mess with your head and screw your life up. And all kinds of crazy stuff happens. I think you guys would really enjoy it.
Are you a gamer?
I was a big gamer growing up.
Okay, yeah, because you were a nerd.
Yes, I was a nerd. Now, when I was a kid, you know, we had like the Nintendo 64, and now we have an Xbox One. And I do enjoy it a lot, but mostly it's my kids. I like watching my kids do it.
What kind of games do you still play?
We love the FIFA soccer game, football. Does anyone say FIFA? I know it's FIFA. I was trying to sound foreign or something. We love Destiny and Skyrim, Star Wars, Battlefront.
Do you think it's a good thing that a lot of young adults do play games? Because in Holland there are a lot of parents against video games.
I actually think, especially today's world with how advanced video games are, it's just another form of storytelling. You know, you're basically experiencing a story as you play the game, right?
Yes.
And you're meeting characters and you're having conflicts, you're resolving conflicts, and a lot of times you shoot a lot of people. But so there's the danger element. But I think it develops a lot of talents and skills, and it develops reading skills, and I think it's great. I don't think there's anything like anything you can do it too much. I mean, if you read a book 10 hours a day, that's a little too much too. But no, all right, that's good.
There are a lot of technical things in the book. How did you do your research?
Well, I grew up in a family of technology nerds. My dad was a computer programmer. He was always on the leading edge of programming. So every time any kind of new computer would come out, my dad would be the first to buy it. And he taught me a lot about programming. And then just, I've stayed the same way. Every time we've had a new technology with smartphones, iPads, all this stuff, I've just gobbled it up, and I love it. And I've seen lots of movies, like from the old Blade Runner to the Matrix films. Who has seen the Matrix? Of anything I've ever read or watched, the Matrix is probably the biggest influence on this book.
Okay. Do you think, because this is about FurNet, can you tell us short what FurNet is?
It is a lot like the Matrix. It's the virtual reality world that you basically plug into, and people do commerce, you know, shopping, video games, all kinds of entertainment. And in the future, it's gotten so realistic that there are certain deep levels of it that you really cannot tell the difference between that and the real world. And that's where people start getting screwed up in the head.
Yeah, of course it's fiction, but when we talk about these kind of things, how do you see the future?
You know, I feel like the story itself is fiction, but the background and the setting of the story doesn't seem that hard to imagine. I feel like it's almost inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, now we have what's that thing called? Oculus Rift. Have you guys heard of that? Yeah. All these new virtual reality tools coming out, and you know that once they start coming out, like they are, it's just going to get exponentially more, you know, higher quality.
Yeah.
And I absolutely believe that 10, 15 years from now, we will have virtual reality that seems like the real world.
And are you looking forward for it, or are you a little bit afraid as well?
I'm mostly looking forward to it, but it does scare me a little, I think.
What scares you?
I think what scares me is that that will become real life to people. Even now, you know, some people get addicted to video games and can't stop playing. But if you can imagine, if you're actually immersed in this world, it could be hard to pull yourself back out. And I think there's going to be a lot of psychological issues with it. We'll have to be careful.
Yeah. Do you want to say something with this book? It tells you not really a moral or a message, but what do you want to tell us?
My number one goal is to entertain.
Yes.
I want you to have a good time.
You did it.
Oh, thank you. I want you, for me, reading and movies are an escape from life. You know, if I read a book, I can put the world on pause, and I can lose myself in a story. And so that's my number one.
Do you think people need that
Yeah, I think
to get out of their world?
I think storytelling. I think people do need an escape. Sometimes life is really tough, and I think reading actually provides a lens, a different way to look at your life. Yeah. You can see it. You can see the world through these characters' eyes, and you can feel their emotions, and you can.
So when Donald Trump is president, you will read a lot.
Yes. Yeah, when Donald Trump's president, I think I will just move to Iceland and read books for 8 years.
Yeah. You're welcome here. You can
or come here. I'll come here.
Yeah.
Would you guys welcome me to your country?
Yeah.
Let's do some questions from the public.
Okay.
From you. Let's show them. Are there questions from Monique? Oh, Monique was playing with her phone. Monique, are there questions? Monique, wake up. She was in the virtual reality world.
She was playing Destiny.
She was escaping.
While we're waiting, how many of you guys saw the Maze Runner movie? Great. And how many of you saw the sequel, Sports Draw?
That's always a nice question. What are your hobbies?
All my hobbies. I tell you what, I love to snow ski. Any skiers out there? I love to play basketball. And I love to watch football/soccer. I have season tickets to our local professional soccer team, Real Salt Lake.
Sorry.
I had a stroop waffle, as I said.
This is an interesting question. Are there characters based on people you know?
Yes.
Real people?
Oh
You guys know my stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the character Minho from The Maze Runner. The name I stole from my niece's husband. He's from Korea. His name's Minho. So there really is a real Minho, and he likes to brag about it all the time. He walks around saying, "Hi, I'm the real Minho. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm the real Minho." But in terms of an actual character being completely based on someone I know, I've never really done that.
Okay.
It's usually a mixture of different things from different people.
Next question. Please go ahead. Filemon leer is Engels, eikel. Filemon leert eens Engels. Dus ze schrijft niet is.
Who's called Lord Jesus? is he here? That's really amazing.
Just choose one question by yourself.
Okay, this is a very important question. Do I think the second book represented the movie, or the movie represented the book? Now, I was extremely happy with the first movie. I thought it was very true to the book. There were lots of little changes, but overall, I felt the characters, the setting, the scenes made you feel like you were reading the book. The second movie has a lot more differences, and I wasn't quite as satisfied. But I really try to preach to people, just embrace it. It's okay to have changes. They can never actually change the books themselves. And, you know, we have all the characters, we have all the major scenes. I think it captures the spirit of the fear they feel and the suspense and the character arcs. Like Teresa and what she does to Thomas and the others is extremely different from the book. But it is true to the spirit of betrayal and some other things. So I don't have a lot of power over the movies, but I'm having a lot of fun watching them get made. And I love the soundtracks, and I love the actors. I've become friends with Dylan and Thomas Brody Sangster.